The box arrived in perfect wrapping, gold ribbons, chilled packaging, a handwritten tag that read, "To my dear daughter-in-law." I almost laughed. She never called me that, not sincerely. When I opened the fridge that night, the chocolates gleamed like trophies. Imported, expensive. A peace offering from the woman who had spent years quietly trying to undo my marriage. I remember the weight of the first piece in my hand. Glossy, dark, filled with something I couldn't name. I set it down. My husband, Daniel, took it instead. "You're overthinking," he said, half smiling as he popped it into his mouth. I let him. The next morning, she called. Her voice was honeyed at first. "Happy birthday, dear. How were the chocolates?" I smiled, a slow, practiced smile she couldn't see. "My husband ate them all." There was silence. Then the tiniest crack in her tone. "What? Are you serious?" I heard her breath catch. The line went quiet for too long, and in that pause, I knew everything I needed to know. 3 years earlier, the first time I met her, she hugged me like a mother, soft perfume and cold jewelry pressing against my neck. "I've always wanted a daughter," she said. Lies sound sweeter when they're rehearsed. She approved of me until the ring was on my finger. After that, her affection evaporated, replaced with small cruelties. Little corrections, little exclusions. A whisper here, a suggestion there. She knew how to erode without leaving fingerprints. At first, I defended her. I told myself she was just protective. But over time, I watched her sculpt Daniel into someone I barely recognized. Impatient, dismissive, secretive. The calls he took in the garage, the sudden weekend trips, the faint perfume that wasn't mine. I didn't need to ask who it was. She had introduced them. His mother had handpicked his mistress. I found out the truth on a Wednesday afternoon, the kind that looks ordinary but ruins you forever. I came home early. He wasn't expecting me. The laughter I heard upstairs wasn't from the television. I stood outside the door, listening to the woman inside say, "Your mother was right about her." That was when I stopped crying and started thinking. Revenge isn't rage, it's arithmetic. I didn't confront him that night. I played my role, quiet, forgiving, composed. He mistook my silence for weakness. That was his first mistake. Over the next 6 months, I learned his patterns, what he deleted, what he saved, where he hid the cash his mother gifted him. I met with a lawyer, not one, but 2. I transferred joint assets carefully, making it seem like house maintenance or insurance. I had patience. Every betrayal teaches you how to wait. Then came the final move, his mother's birthday dinner. I smiled, I toasted, I handed her a silk scarf she didn't deserve. "You've always been like a mother to me," I said. She smirked, not realizing that by the end of that night, she'd helped me sign her own undoing. A week later, I sent her a parcel, a box of gourmet chocolates, the same brand she adored. I knew she'd notice the gesture. I knew she'd want to return it. That's who she was, always needing the last word. She did. When her package arrived, chilled, pristine, wrapped in gold, I placed it in our fridge and waited. The morning after she called, Daniel stumbled out of the bedroom, pale and trembling. She's asking what chocolates I ate," he said. I looked up from my coffee. "Why?" "She's saying they weren't meant for me." I tilted my head. Strange thing to say, isn't it? His phone rang again. He didn't answer. He just stared at the screen, then at me. "What did you say to her?" I met his eyes, steady and calm. I told her the truth. By the time the ambulance reached her house, it was too late. A reaction, they said. Something about a mix-up in her medications. They found traces of her sleeping pills melted into the truffles. Accidental, of course. That's what the police concluded. Daniel was inconsolable. Not for her, for himself. Because the will she'd rewritten 6 months earlier was suddenly worthless. I'd already transferred the assets, the deeds, the investments, all legally mine. Her gifted accounts were now locked in my name. Every paper trail pointed back to her, and every favor she'd done for her son had been repaid with silence. He tried to blame me. He couldn't prove a thing. And when he finally broke down, begging me to explain, I did. I didn't poison her, I said quietly. She poisoned herself long before she sent those chocolates. It's been a year. People still whisper about what happened. Some say it was fate. Some call it karma. I just call it math. Daniel moved out months ago. The house is quiet now. Mine, entirely. The air feels lighter without their secrets pressing against the walls. Every year since, I still receive a box of chocolates on my birthday. Not from her, obviously, just the automated renewal she must have forgotten to cancel.